back to Resistance Chicks. We're your hosts, Leah and Michelle. Today is the 4th of October. It's a Friday. We do our weekly roundup. We were running late. Thank you for being patient. I'm glad that Patriot Gallery was able to open up the chat. We went to the feed store, and then we got stuck in traffic, and then traffic again, and then our homecoming parade.
It was seriously like one thing after another. It was like, you've got to be kidding me. We've got to get home.
We have a dog here that we had taken on an adventure.
Yes.
Who we haven't had a chance to take home yet. So if you hear any crying in the background, that would be
Lulu. So
Lulu.
say hello to Lou.
Hello, Lulu.
We'll just dive right in while people are coming because I know a lot of you guys are here. Patriot Gallery said, please don't spend your entire show talking about the Ukraine thing. So we won't, but I do want to get you up to speed in case you have, I don't know, been on vacation. Maybe you went to Montana and you didn't have service in Glacier National Park. Maybe you were just hanging out with your kids and you have no idea what happened and you just get your news on Fridays from Resistance Chicks. Well, good news, I have the news for you. So let me just give you the lowdown. The Democrats are trying to impeach Trump. But they're not trying to impeach Trump. Ignore the hype. This is not an impeachment inquiry. So calm down for a second. Even though they're saying we want to impeach Trump, even though they're saying they're going to try to start investigations, they've literally only sent out letters asking for information that have no subpoena power behind them because they have not started an official impeachment inquiry because that requires a vote on the House floor. And everybody, right, left, and center, they all know that if there's an impeachment inquiry, it will sink a lot of these Democrats who were voted in 2018 in red states.
Right.
And it will probably, most likely, it will swing the House back. So they are pinning their hopes on trying to impeach Trump. Like, they're hoping against hope. They know it's 1,000,000 to 1 odds.
They've got nothing.
But they know that their field, they're not, here's the thing. We look at the field of Democrats and we laugh, we cough. Bernie Sanders, Elizabeth Warren, not one of them is a heavyweight.
And Benny's in the hospital.
Right. Here's the thing. When the Republicans were running people, they had some serious heavyweights. Ben Carson was a serious contender. Ted Cruz, Rand Paul.
Yeah.
And Jeb Bush was a serious contender. Yeah. We had a star-studded packed of people.
Not that you're saying that Jeb Bush is a star in your book.
No, but he's a star.
Exactly.
Okay, their movie stars I don't think are great. Robert De Niro's a star. He's a kind of a horrible human person, you know?
You horrible human person, you.
Exactly. So, but anyways, it was star-studded. Like, any one of them could have taken it to the mattresses. But John McCain and John Kerry couldn't. So Republicans knew when John McCain and John Kerry ran that it was like, there's probably no chance, right? Well, the Democrats have this lineup of like D-listers. It's like when you're trying to do a movie and you can't get any A-listers, you can't get any B-listers. You're on the C and the D list. Now, for Bernie Sanders, he is the A of A amongst progressives, which are I would say a solid 25% of the Democratic Party. But when you're solid 25% of the Democrat Party, there's still 75% of the people who don't like you.
Yeah.
Okay?
True.
Who don't want to vote for you. Who will not vote for you.
Right.
Okay, that's the same thing with Elizabeth Warren. And it's even more so with Elizabeth Warren because she has proposed something even more extreme than Bernie Sanders, if that's possible.
Talking about the child care?
No, I'm talking about the 2% going into billionaires' bank accounts, literally just skimming 2% off of the, just taking it. Not a tax, not anything, just like going into your bank. Like, how is that legal? Like, that can't be legal.
Right.
To just go in and take, and you know what she says? As a billionaire or a millionaire above, I don't know what her limit was, like maybe $500 million. As a millionaire, you're literally, we're just asking for 2 cents on every dollar. We're just asking for 2 cents on every dollar.
Wow.
You know what I mean? But like, if you have spent your whole life amassing that kind of wealth, you're greedy as all get out.
Yeah.
And you don't want to see a penny go.
Yeah.
So those kind of guys are like, whoa, 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 we're not going to go for Elizabeth Warren. And they know they can't go for Bernie. Bernie Sanders, this is breaking news. Bernie Sanders is still in the hospital. He had a quote, and they're playing it down as much as they can.
They always do that.
Okay? He had a cardiac event. They're not calling it a heart attack.
He has some stents
put in, but he's still in the hospital, and this was several days ago. Okay?
So we were talking about this on the way home.
But he's out. Like, everybody's saying he's done. He has pulled out $1.4 million of ads in Iowa. I don't think he's going to come back from this. Like, he may try. I don't know if he hasn't said he's out. I think they're going to try to wait and see what he feels like. But if he's already having these kind of events, and we're not even in the season yet.
Yeah.
He's
pushing 80.
Yeah, I think he's 79.
And you talked about, in 4 years, you're like 84 years old.
Yeah, 83, 84.
Well, okay, but
by the time he's elected, he'll be 84. At the end of the term, he'll be 84. So and he's already had.
So when he leaves office, let's just say in some weird world, Bernie gets elected once and twice. He leaves office, he's 88 years old.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing: the Democrats have already sunk that ship because they question Trump's physical well-being.
Right.
But Trump is as healthy as a horse. Like, he doesn't stop. Like, the only one that could match him, I think, is Elizabeth Warren. She's getting up there too, but she is the quintessential Energizer Bunny.
She's not old.
She is. She's in her 70s.
No, she's not.
Yes, she is. You look it up.
Wow.
Look,
that girl look good. It must be all that Native American in her.
It is. Native Americans always look younger.
That's true. It's the high cheekbones.
It is. So there is no impeachment inquiry. There are no subpoenas. You are not to be faulted if you think a formal inquest is underway. And this is from Andrew McCarthy.
70.
She's 70.
So that's actually not old.
But she's still 70. I mean, seriously. Right. I mean, she's up there.
Right, but they're all that old.
Exactly.
Not the field. We got all the young people. You're right. Yeah, but I just mean most presidents. I mean, are pretty.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. She is younger than Bernie Sanders by like about 10 years. So she's a spring chicken.
She's taller than me.
She was. That's exactly sounds like she's something she would say. I'm a spring chicken. You are not to be faulted if you think a formal inquest is underway and that the legal process has been issued for an impeachment inquiry. The misimpression is completely understandable if you have been taking in media coverage, in particular reporting on the September 27th letter from the House Democrats presuming to direct Secretary of State Mike Pompeo on pain of citation for obstruction to cooperate with their demands to depose State Department officials and review several records. The letter is signed by not one but three committee chair. Remember your elementary math, though. 0 is still 0 when multiplied by 3. What is portrayed as an impeachment inquiry is actually just a made-for-cable TV political soap opera. The House of Representatives is not conducting a formal impeachment inquiry. To the contrary, congressional Democrats are conducting a 2020 political campaign. The House has not voted as a body to authorize any impeachment inquiry. What we have are partisan theatrics proceeding under the guise of some sort of impeachment inquiry.
So it's a fireworks at this point.
So you've got Speaker Nancy Pelosi. I'm not even going to play her recent clips of how she prays for the president daily, and she's,
isn't she kind of like a saint? She prays for the president, her mortal enemy, every day.
And she
prays that he dies a horrible death.
Yeah, and actually,
it's called witchcraft.
Speaking of that,
witchcraft.
Unfortunately, I feel bad. I'm going to see if I can bring up this spot, and I might not be able to bring. Trump had played this spot where, Trump and Alex Jones are the same person in my mind, I guess. So from yesterday's show, but you can catch it a lot of places, where there was a Pastor Jeffries who was on a Fox News radio show, and what he said, he got the guy at Fox News discontinued his radio show. Let's see if I can find it here. And I
big
feel
bullies. And the way they did so is
I feel bad because this Pastor Jeffries, he was just rolling with it. Oh, look, he's got Tommy on. We'll have to play that. I didn't see it. I didn't see
You haven't watched? Yeah, I haven't watched that either.
You're fine, Lou. I wonder if Mom knows exactly where it was. But maybe I can just... Anyways, I'll just tell you. This Pastor Jeffries was on this guy's Fox News radio host program.
Okay.
And they were talking about Nancy Pelosi, saying that she prayed for the president.
Jane,
And the
read
radio
that.
host, I don't know exactly his name, but he's since been let go by Fox News because of this line that this Pastor Jeffries said.
Okay.
He said, well, I don't know. I wonder what God they're praying to, said the radio host.
Pastor Jeffries, a valid question.
Pastor Jeffries said, well, we know what God they pray to. They worship the god Molech, which sacrifices babies. We know, like in the Old Testament, the God of... And so everybody in our side of the world, and in the Christian world, has said for years that they worship the god Molech, because the god Molech in the Bible, they would pass their babies through the fire.
And you can go and watch Eric Mathis' sermon that I covered the other day in our videos. Go to my videos and you can watch that there.
And so this is something that Christians talk about all the time.
Yeah.
And they said, but I guess they took it literal, like Nancy Pelosi worships Molech, and that's too much fake news, and so he got fired.
Oh my
but
gosh.
There's that. So let's see. Anyways, let's see where we're at. The Democrats, of course, hope that you don't notice that the House is not conducting a formal impeachment inquiry. They just say it over and over and over again, right? They are using the guise of frantic activity. Ludo. By several standing committees, intelligence, judiciary, foreign affairs, oversight, reform, financial services, anyways, whose normal oversight functions are being gussied up to make it look like serious impeachment business. But the standing committees do have subpoena power, so why don't they use it? Well, because subpoenas get litigated in court when the people or agencies on the receiving end object. So Democrats want to have an impeachment show, inquiry, or on television. They do not want to defend its bona fides in court. They certainly don't want to defend their letter.
She's all right. She'll lay down.
The Democrats' media scribes note the chairman's admonition that any failure by Pompeo to comply shall constitute evidence of obstruction of the House's impeachment inquiry. What a crock. In criminal proceedings, prosecutors demand information all the time, and witnesses often resist. Just as congressional Democrats encouraged the Justice Department and the FBI to resist when Republican-controlled committees were trying to investigate such matters as the FISA abuse. Presumptively, resisting an information request is not evidence of obstruction. It is evidence that the recipient of the demand believes he or she has a legal privilege that excuses compliance. The recipients can be wrong without being guilty of obstruction. Congressional Democrats know this, of course. Many of them are lawyers. They are issuing partisan letters that pose legally offensive threats rather than subpoenas, because this is a show, not an impeachment inquiry.
So, you know what it reminds me of? When our neighbor...
Kangaroo court.
Our neighbor had sent a letter from his lawyer telling us to cease and desist from keeping our animals. Because when you send a letter from a lawyer, it looks like a big to-do. Like somehow lawyers have power when they actually don't. They have letterhead. That's all they have. And so this is what they're doing. It's a big show. Here you've gotten my letterhead, and you know I'm just blowing smoke.
Okay, so here's the thing. Although the House has the raw power to file articles of impeachment based on any frivolous allegation, even minor abuses, the Constitution says it has to be high crimes and misdemeanors, not a traffic ticket, not even like drunk driving. You know what I mean? And so you have to have this super majority in the Senate, 2/3 to convict in the Senate. And that's how the Constitution keeps things in balance. Although the House has the raw power to file articles of impeachment based on like anything, with a supermajority, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. In defending against any congressional demand for information, the president has various privileges against disclosure. And then, you know, it's just a bunch of craziness. So what I want to talk about right now is Joe Biden's son, Hunter Biden, was getting $50,000 a month to be on the board of this Ukrainian Energy Committee. And why isn't anybody talking about the fact that Ukraine is in Europe, but it is the poorest country in Europe. They ain't got no money. They don't have anything. So why is Joe Biden's son making millions in the Ukraine? Why is John Kerry's son on the same board?
You're kidding.
Why is Mitt Romney has like a campaign advisor sitting on that same board? Why is the Ukraine tapping all of these American?
This is
I
very
would call
good
them
question.
I'd call these American B players or C players, right? So a lot of times when a foreign government or a foreign entity wants to buy into another government, you don't go straight to the top. That's too. You see that? I mean, you're not going to put Joe Biden on your board, but you might put his son on your board, right? You might put John Kerry's son or son-in-law on the board. You might go in and look at who is connected to who. It's always a who is connected to who. And now it's come out today that, here I have this up, breaking news, Nancy Pelosi's son, Paul Pelosi Jr., who went to the Ukraine. Listen, in 2017, listen, this Ukraine is not a place where people go to holiday. It is not a vacation destination. People don't go there. People don't ever mention Ukraine except for to say, oh, look, Russia annexed Crimea, whatever, okay? That's the only thing that we ever talk about with the Ukraine, okay? We know that they're corrupt. We know that their government is in shambles, so much so that they elected a national TV icon to be their president to do something about this corruption, right? Their country is in shambles. And it seems that all these American B players, the sons, the daughters, people who are connected to the A-listers in politics are over there some reason. Now, Paul Pelosi Jr., who went to the Ukraine in 2017, was a board member of Viscoil, an executive at its related company, NRG Lab, which did energy business in the Ukraine. Why is the Ukraine this great energy hub anyways? You know what I mean? It is a nothing country. I'm sorry.
So Stuart the Brit says Ukrainian is full of oil, natural gas, etc. Et
well, okay, so now we know.
Thank you.
To create it yourself. When President Obama became president of the United States, he elevated science to a higher place in our national priorities. It is science, 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 and science. Breaking our crippling addiction to oil. They are developing desirable, efficient cars that get more than 100 miles per gallon. My son Paul, who is here with me, tells me that that is par for the course and not to be overwhelmed by that prospect that will be considered the normal.
We're having a very exciting day here in Washington, D.C. A lot of focus on innovation and technology to help solve a lot of the world's energy crisis. Both oil spills, which we'll be participating in, cars and efficiency, which is represented today, and space and different adventures and using technology from space to make human conditions better here. My name is Paul Pelosi. Of course, I'm on the board with Viscoil Oil. And Viscoil's here today to talk about accelerating the future. It's about using cars in a more efficient manner. It's about utilizing natural resources, whether it be electricity or gas or fossil fuels, in a more efficient way. And Viscoil Oil is a part of that solution. We're also going to take place in the next X Prize competition. This X Prize rewarded cars.
So here's Nancy Pelosi. She's implicated now because she's in an ad promoting her son being part of this Viscoil Oil, as an executive and its related company, which did energy business in the Ukraine. So why do you think she's trying to do the impeachment thing? Her son's in on this.
Well,
too.
and this is actually a really beautiful thing because all of these people, it's like once you've stepped into a pile of poo and you keep walking around and you're like oblivious to the fact that you're leaving footprints behind you. And all of these people have left these pile of poo footprints. And then you're going to find their shoe and it's going to be covered in poo.
Right.
And it's going to be a beautiful day.
So this is what went viral and was taken down. I think that I think I still will find one. Yeah, here we go. everybody keeps Twitter keeps taking it down for a copyright because what Donald Trump's campaign did was create a small ad that got millions and millions and millions of views,
utilizing a Nickelback song.
Yeah, and in the picture, it talks about this picture. This picture is Joe Biden, Hunter Biden, and an executive from this Burisma company who we can't stop talking about because they are the epicenter for the corruption with Hunter Biden. And Joe Biden said, I've never spoken with my son about any of his business dealings because he was the point man for the Ukraine. There are hundreds of countries in the entire world, and Joe Biden is the point man for little Ukraine, right? He knows why he's there, okay? He's there because, as Stuart the Brit said, oil, gas, energy. And his son, you know, at one point, he wrote in his book, his dad asked him, I hope you know what you're doing. And he says, I do. Okay. And remember, Hunter Biden had just 6 months before been kicked out of the military for being a cocaine addict. He has some sort of love child, trying to get child support right now. I mean, he spent money on prostitutes. I mean, this guy is a mess as a human being.
How does a child support judge deal with $50,000 a month of income?
Well, he's not getting it now.
I'm just saying, like, how do you?
So anyways, Donald Trump tweeted this out, and Twitter keeps taking it down, but people have all downloaded it, so they just keep uploading it again.
Have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red? And what the hell is on Joey's head?
Have you ever spoken to your son about his overseas business dealings?
I've never spoken to my son about his overseas business dealings.
Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. How did our eyes get so red?
We're going to sign off here. We love you. God loves you. God bless. And remember,
it's not just a conspiracy theory
if it's actually the truth. All right, we'll see you back on Sunday at 1. God bless.
I was caught